Hi, water signs. I am here with your September 2019 general reading. This is a general outlook, so take what resonates and toss the rest. I know I say this all the time, but I just like to repeat myself in case I have new viewers, people who are new to this journey, just so they can understand that. Now, with that being said, you may want to check out some of the other element videos. I know that I have some friends who are fire signs. I myself am a fire sign, but I have a lot of earth in my chart, and the messages that came out in the earth sign reading were very relevant to my journey, as well as she said it resonated with her as well. So you might want to look more in depth into your natal chart, see what other aspects you have, because many of us have all the elements and some of us are heavy and the other ones. I have a lot of fire and a lot of earth in mine, for example. So um, just don't let that deter you. And I do try to put the titles in there as well to help with this overall subject matter, the theme. And so if you're drawn to it, I say disregard whatever sign it is. It's a message that needs to come through for you for some reason. So don't be afraid to watch, or you can cross watch for others as well. So with all that being said, guys, I don't know if you're feeling the energy today. I don't know what's going on, but my dreams have been just really weird and vivid, and I feel long, and some of them just they feel real. Like I feel like in one instance, for example, I think I was swimming and then there was something else I was doing, but it just seemed real. Like I felt like I was physically doing those things versus more, it wasn't really an astral experience. I don't know, I guess all dreams are. Anyway, it was so bizarre. I woke up this morning and I guess I had forgot to set my alarm. So I woke up at 7:15. I had no idea what day it was. I had no idea. I mean, I knew I was in my bedroom, but I was just so confused as to what was going on. I was like, what day is it? I literally couldn't get my bearings. I was just like, what is happening? What day is it? Am I supposed to get up right now? I was so confused. It was just crazy. And I think there's a wave, another energy wave coming in. So what's new, right? There's another energy wave coming in. I started feeling it a little bit yesterday, but especially today, I just got hit like probably about an hour ago with a really like just wave of fatigue. But my third eye is kind of like pulsing right now, so I feel like I want to try to get this video out for you guys. So that being said, I know if you watched the Earth sign reading that I recorded last night, I used the Star Tarot in that one, but for some reason, for you guys, water signs, I am being drawn to the Chakra Wisdom Tarot. So bear with me. I think I've only used this deck a couple of times, but I absolutely love it. It's color coded to associate with the various chakras. So that often gives us some additional messages. So water signs, we're going to get started here. Water signs, angel spirit guides, use me as the channel to provide a message for water signs. Guidance for water signs for September. What message do water signs need for September? Okay, there it is. All right, I'm going to do it. Okay. It's interesting. I would have thought it's interesting the chakras they associate with that. Some of these, because I would pick something else. I would think it was something else, but lots of communication stuff here. Wow. Wow. Wow, guys. All right. Let's see what we've got here. Just give me a minute here. I'm just getting my bearings on these cards because, as you guys know, I mean, I get the messages, but a lot of it for me is the image that's on the card as well. And since I've only used this deck a couple of times, and just trying to see what comes through here. Okay. This is definitely, I don't know what's going on. well, I know what's going on, but there's just a lot of, I don't mean these are not, these are meant to be general readings, but the messages that keep coming through are, for earth signs, they started it off for September, but the soul connection, this is definitely a romantic message that I'm getting. Yeah. So I'm getting that something happened in the last couple of weeks. There was somebody who spoke from their heart, because you've got Princess of Wands, which is like the Page of Wands. The heart chakra is the green, so that's what we're associating with. But if you're, I'm getting, well, because it's the princess in this deck instead of the page, the feminine and the connection has maybe come forward and expressed some sort of feelings from the heart or some sort of communication, passionate communication. It kind of came out of nowhere. And I feel like that kind of got this connection back on track. There's a Knight of Wands and a Knight of Coins in this connection. So you, as a water sign, you may represent that energy because both of them are blue. Again, just going off of the color of the cards that can represent water. But what I'm getting from it is that there's this desire to move things forward, because whoever the masculine is in this connection, Knight of Coins, they've been slow, they've been steady, but in the position that this is in this spread, they're much more stable now. I'm just getting that they're coming forward, and I think in September, because again, this is the current energy, but we're looking for the outlook for September, right? So right now we're still in August. I think they're wanting to come forward passionately, because they are more stable and speak their truth. The only blocking energy right now is the Eight of Wands, which is the card about communication, assertions. It's just not quite time. But what I'm getting is that it's very imminent. And the reason I'm saying that is because the desire of you both, I'm getting, you have a shared desire, because since this is end up being a soul connections reading, and that's the Ten of Coins, which is the Ten of Pentacles. And as you guys know, my my go-to happy family, I mean, look at this, like there's in the back, there's all the treasures, like all the things you could want, from a finance standpoint, from a stable security standpoint. And look, there's a portrait in the background of that, I don't know if you can see that, but of the happy family. And she's just kind of basking in this golden light, right? That represents, in the soul connection, the fabric of the soul. That's what I'm getting. Yeah. I mean, you can almost feel the fabric of her dress, the sun, that energy, just that of the fabric of the soul is gold. It's golden light. So both parties, I think, are at a position where they're wanting this outcome. And the energy forward is Nine of Wands, which sometimes is, a card of being overwhelmed and burdened. And I'm not getting that here because it's coming right after the Eight of Wands. Okay, so you've got the Eight of Wands. It's like it's not quite there, but there's about to be like a switch flipped and something's going to go forward, because the 8 is right before the 9. It's in succession. And there's a lot of passion here. And I think that's going to there's going to be something that occurs that, yeah, let me see here. Nine of Wands. I'm getting, I mean, this to me looks like This looks like, reminds me, it's the Nine of Wands, but the card she reminds me of the Queen of Wands. So there could be a fire sign and a water sign involved. But she doesn't look right. And then, like I said, in the Nine of Wands, traditionally, some of these decks I have, you guys, I know you've seen these cards if you watch my videos regularly. I mean, you will literally see somebody carrying wands on their back, like up a mountain or something like that, and they're fatigued and tired. And she's got this wand. She's like, yeah, I've got this. I've got this. I know what I want, and I'm going to go after it. So to me, this is okay, somebody who hasn't spoken, somebody in this connection has not spoken their truth. Somebody did come forward. One person did speak from the heart, right? And that's kind of get a resurgence I should say, of energy. And it's just going to succeed as far as coming forward. And there's a lot of passion. But I just see that this is like somebody getting like something. I'm just getting like this is just like turning on a light, like flame, like just boom. There's going to be there's going to be confidence. And what does it lead to, you guys? I mean, it's like there's got to be confidence because this person who before had not spoken their truth, they've been working on themselves. Nine of Coins, which is the Nine of Pentacles. They've been working on themselves. They are self-sufficient. They're stable. They're enjoying their life. They've had a realization. Look how she's reaching out and touching the pentacles in the mirror. I mean, clearly, I mean, you guys are in the soul connection path. You know, you mirror each other. You mirror each other. And, you know, if you're a divine feminine watching, again, I'm getting like a fire water dynamic. There's a lot of that here. But you, as the divine feminine, you pursuing your own Nine of Pentacles, you pursuing your own things and your, you know, your gifts and stepping into mission first, it has catapulted this connection. And I think there's a lot that's been going on behind the scenes that many of you don't realize, that your counterpart has been working on himself very hard. And this is just absolutely beautiful because, again, you were showing him the way. I'm getting that. You were showing him the way and reflecting back to him. And he finally has had this epiphany and realization of what this dynamic is and why sometimes being in your presence was so triggering. But then the growth that followed, and he's realizing the growth that he's contributed to your life. Because, I mean, this is just, right? I mean, I said before that there we have two knights here, right? And the knights, you guys know, they're not stable. I mean, the Knight of Pentacles is a little more, you know, of the knights is going to be the more stable one. The Knight of Wands definitely is not. They're in and out. They're wishy-washy. They're flakes. And you want your counterpart to be a king, okay? And look what happens, all right? Whenever this happens, and I'm getting a lot of it has to do, maybe that's why I was called to do the water sign video today with this energy wave coming in. I felt something, I talked about it on the earth sign video yesterday. Something crazy happened yesterday morning, like about 5:30. I woke up, I was on fire, I was wide awake, and I felt vibration like all around, like something was like on the bed. I felt energy, I felt vibrating, and then I had some things happen throughout the day that really blew my mind, in aspects of my life. So things are shifting, and I think I said it in the earth sign video last night that the masculines, some crazy shit is going down. I think they're having astral encounters, they're having dreams, things they can no longer ignore. The universe is like, boom, you know, this is waking them up. So what happens is, again, like I was saying, there's going to be this surge forward of confidence into them. It's going to pour into them, and they're not going to be able to suppress this anymore. And guess what? They're going to become a king. And look which king it is. King of Cups. King of Cups. for you guys, and they're going to awaken. I mean, how beautiful is this? They're going to awaken to their divinity and the truth of this connection, because you've got the purple, which is the third eye chakra. This is just absolutely beautiful. And so when they become a king, and again, the Eight of Coins, the Eight of Pentacles is my card usually for awakening, right? They're going to realize, right, because you've got, they're going to be, stable. The king energy is stable. This is the red is the root chakra. They're going to realize, they're also going to realize this goddess, divine feminine, who was showing them and pulling them, here. And the outcome, you guys, for September, for water signs, the outcome, 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups. This is one of the best cards. It is sun. I mean, this is the solar plexus, as far as the chakra, but it's kind of about the culmination of the confidence of pursuing this and knowing that you deserve it, right? And if you are the one, if your counterpart was the one that was the more insecure, right, the Nine of Wands energy previously, they're going to have the confidence to know that they deserve this, to know that this is their destiny. I mean, look at this. This is just beautiful. They've got butterflies on them. There's children around. They're just exploding in light and merging their souls. I mean, it's just, I don't even know what to say, you guys. I like I said, I try not to turn this into soul connection readings, but for many of you, I think that's going to be a good thing. I am getting another message coming through based on what's on the bottom of the deck. And it could be that you've got two nights, two parties that you're trying to choose between, because you've got the Two of Swords. You've got the Two of Swords and the Seven of Wands, which is about kind of just defensiveness and holding back. So you're trying to make this decision between maybe an earth sign and a fire sign. And again, this is weird because the earth sign video, I don't know if they had I thought they had a fellow earth sign. Yeah, they had an earth sign and a fire sign as far as kings they were trying to choose between. So this could be the same kind of dynamic. And again, the current energy that I'm getting is that the pentacle, the earth sign is the more stable one. But I think you've got to be confident in your choice of who you want to be with, because if you're in this energy of knowing that you're on this path, knowing that you want a divine connection, but you don't commit to one person. I mean, it's a fine line between detaching, right? You don't want to attach to a specific outcome. It's been, trust me, I've been through this last 2 years. You don't want to attach to a specific person and an outcome with a specific person. But there's a fine line between detaching from that and pulling away and being open to receiving someone new coming in, versus every single time the person that you want to be with disappoints you, just chasing someone else, right? It's just like, I'm done with this. I'm going to go date this person. I'm going to go date this person. I'm going to go do online dating. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go do whatever, with my ex or whoever, or a guy I dated. If that's the mindset you're in and you're not confident, if you don't have faith in the fact that this stuff is happening for a reason, and you're not looking at how this person is mirroring you, that's what I would suggest for you. If this is resonating to where you've got two different people, why are you, running away? If the person is, if you really truly with all your being believe that the one person, is your divine connection, but they're just not doing what you want and they're triggering you, I mean, look in the mirror and see what it's trying to show you and what you need to heal. Once you do that and you work on yourself, your King of Cups is going to come forward and you will have your Ten of Cups. So this is just saying, have faith, have confidence, and make a decision, and don't get defensive. That's the thing. If you put up your defenses and just say, I'm done with this, I'm walking away, versus, you know what, okay, this triggered me, I'm going to work on this wound. What is it bringing up? And going within, and you get to a level then where at some point things that used to trigger you don't anymore. It's not to say that you won't be triggered ever again, because, we're human. But there are times when something that, would have brought me to my knees haven't triggered me. There may be other things that do, but that's my suggestion for you, is that you can't keep going back and forth between two people and expect your divine counterpart to commit to you. Because if you're going back and forth and changing your mind and walking away from the connection, they're going to keep mirroring you, and they're not going to be ready. So that is the best advice I can give you guys for that. I'm going to pull, I was drawn to this Ascended Masters deck. I haven't used this in ages. This was one of my favorite, oh my gosh, one of the first ones I bought 2 years ago, right when I was starting to awaken, right around now. It really got me through some of this crazy energy and things that were happening to me. Let's see what message for water signs. I feel like we got another one. Actually, I feel like... Okay, wow, okay. Not surprised. All right. Flow of prosperity. So, this was about, did I just say something about the concept of detaching and letting things flow to you? Detaching versus resisting. And that's something I had to learn the hard way. Detaching is one thing. Detaching, going with the flow, is a whole certain level of energy, right? Versus getting frustrated, thinking you're ready for this, and blaming the other person. Why aren't they ready? Why aren't they doing what I want? I'm just done with this. I'm just done. I don't need this. I don't need this connection. I'm done. That's resistance. That's resistance. Because if you're getting to a point where you're still triggered and frustrated, there's still some more work you need to do. So you need to meditate. You need to go within and figure out why are you being triggered? What wounds is it bringing up? How can you get those out? Do you need to use crystals? Do you need to write and burn it? Another method I really liked that somebody had suggested, an article, one of the things I'd shared, I think on the water full moon, because the water and the moon are tied together. Anyway, that just came out. But I know why it came out, because what I did is took rice and held it in some in my hand, and thought of something negative that I wanted to let go of, whatever it was, a pattern, a belief, whatever it was. And then I threw it in a bowl of water, and I think I had candles, and so I don't know, I'd have to look at the whole ritual, but it was kind of very cathartic to take this rice and just throw it in the water and just hear it go in the water. And it's like, there's that fear that keeps coming up, gone. There's this is the gone. And then there was ritual and certain things you could say. You can look it up online, and I think I shared it on one of my posts fairly recently with the last full moon, maybe the one in June. It might have been the one in June. So check that out. But whatever it is, there are different methods depending on, there's no right or wrong. It's whatever you're called to do. So if you're drawn to use Apache tears to absorb some of that malachite to heal your heart, writing things, burning them, doing the rice method, doing something else, just going to nature, playing songs that will trigger certain pains in you, cry and get it out. I can't tell you how much that helps me. And using the Apache tears in my hands as I'm doing that it works like magic. And then trust. You got to trust. Wasn't that what I was just saying? That you've got to have faith in your path and know deep down who is your Ten of Cups, right? Meditate on it. Meditate on the energy of these individuals. I've had to do that a couple of times. And it's like, when I did that, I just thought, why in the world would I be wanting to be with someone else when this is the other part of my soul. um, but it got to a point where I was in resistance and I was so desperate to just, again, as part of this journey, you're supposed to detach from external sources. That's why the feminines are, have, pretty much have to become celibate. This, you're purifying your body, you're relinquishing your need to have physical stimulation, physical contact. You learn to be reliant on yourself, and that you don't need anything but your connection to God, that everything is one, and that you and the divine partner that you're seeking are one. So you don't need to physically, you want to be physically with them, of course, because we're human. But the goal of this is to detach, to just know that to love them unconditionally, they don't have to physically be with you. So it's very difficult, but I guess I was digressing, but what I'm getting at is that if you're in this knowing of who this person is, and you're experiencing the things you are, the astral encounters, the synchronicities, the connection you have with them, if you don't, if and I'm not advocating, again, to put your life on hold for anyone, don't do that, but question your motives, right? Do you really love person two, or are they just familiar? Are you just settling because you don't want to be alone, because you don't think you'll find someone else, because you don't think this other person's going to be ready? And at the end of the day, at least in my situation, in some cases, not all, but in some cases, there were, these were people from the past, and it's like these same patterns are showing themselves again, and they do. It's a karmic cycle you have to close out. So, I guess that's the biggest advice I could give you, is that you've got to trust your intuition. And the karmic cycles, trust me, there were, at least one that was very, very hard for me to close out. It was very hard. But it had to be done because I knew that if it came back together, the same issues were going to resurface because we're not on the same path. And so ultimately I had to get to a point where, you're just happier. You either want this divine connection with somebody, you trust that if that person's not going to be ready, then there's someone else that's going to come in. And if you're in flow, it's going to happen. But you can't, it's again, how do we get from surrender to flow? And I think that's something that we're all working on daily. So let's see what other messages I can give to you guys in that regard. Let's see. What deck? I'm going to use the Sacred Power reading cards. And as far as what message Spirit has for water signs for surrendering, for surrender versus resistance, like what guidance can you give on surrendering and trusting the process? This is hilarious. This came out last night, this in the same thing, in the earth signs. Let's see, Animal Kingdom. So this is signs from nature, and I think what I would say is when I made a clear decision on my path and realized that a lot of the things that were coming in and pulling me in one direction away from what I should have been doing, once I realized that was dark, and it was psychic attacks, and it was things just and my own doubts and fears too that were feeding that. Once I had that epiphany and I made a commitment to know what my path is, or at least that these other things that were trying to derail me were not my path, I started having, well, number one, so much more peace. My soul didn't feel fragmented anymore. It just, everything just kind of felt like, okay, I can breathe and I'm not going to fight this anymore. But I started having so many messages come in all of a sudden from insects. I talked about this on the earth signs video. Lots of insects just visiting me, coming in, and they are messengers. They have specific messages, and I'm not kidding you guys. Just a couple days ago, when I was driving on the highway to work, out of nowhere on 675, a white dove like launched off the side of the road and just flew. It flew right over my car, and that is a big message, for anybody that's on the divine soul connection journey. Doves are very symbolic. I've had lots of feathers, just different moths flying into me. I think I told you the moth flew into my heart chakra. That's like the truth that is going to come out. I mean, it's just beautiful. And then boundaries. When when you can set boundaries with people, that's important too. As far as surrendering, it's like not worrying, this is about, I saw a video on this morning. It's about living in the fifth dimension versus the third. When some of these things, I should be doing X, I should be doing Y, I should be doing whatever. And your soul says, no, I'm going to walk away from this. I want to just do whatever this is. And you don't care as much. It's not that you care about people, because that's what the fifth dimension is about, oneness and unconditional love. But these 3D paradigms about you should do this, you should do that, whatever, they kind of just fall away, and you just go with your own whatever you want to do, and you don't feel guilt anymore, you don't feel fear, you just know what you want to do and what you need to do. So it's a really beautiful thing. Let's see, guys, what other message? Water signs. I think we need to pull a card from the wisdom of the what was on the bottom. I'm not even kidding you. Soulmates. Yeah. He holds the key to her heart. See that? He holds the key to her heart. And I think that's the King of Cups energy for sure. For some of you, it's going to be an amazing September. I can't wait to see. I think we're going to just have so many beautiful lights coming together and spreading love and just changing the direction of this planet. I mean, God, you can't make this shit up, you guys. Why? Because it's fated. It's destined. It's fated. This is the time. The new earth is here. Look how this person, her body, let me make sure I'm seeing this right. Her body looks like it's kind of wilting, sort of. I mean, it's kind of lace, kind of flowers, but her body, even her head especially, looks like it's kind of wilting and it's like going to blow away. Like if the wind came, it looks like she's just going to like dust in the wind, right? Because our DNA is changing. We're climbing up the ascension ladder. We're becoming going back home to our star origination, crystalline light body. We're dropping away. The 3D life that we knew is falling away. I mean, this faded. It's faded, and that's what I was just saying, how September was going to be amazing. I think it's just going to continue. It's just going to continue to expand, and I think it's going to just be an unprecedented, it's going to be things that we're already seeing things we've never seen before. But the lights that are going to come together, and I just keep getting, it's going to be etheric, and there's talk too about a solar event, like a flash that is going to, it's really starting to, I don't know if in September, if that's going to happen, I don't know. But it would be a flash of light, and you would just feel this unconditional love just so profound that it brings you to your knees and you cry. I've felt it a few times. I have had angelic visits where I feel that, and it's just so, I never wanted, I'm like, I don't ever want to not feel that again. Like, um, but I think on a global scale, something like that, I mean, there's talk of that. I don't know why that just came through, that I just got that message, but something, I think September and the fall equinox, there's going to be a lot of fated events happening, guys. So I am very excited about it. I can't wait to hear, I can't wait to see all of the divine partnerships coming together and just the growth, because union is about union within yourself. And when you're whole within yourself, even if you're not with your counterpart, your light is so bright and profound, and can change the world around you. I'm seeing it, and I'm just seeing it kind of, other people are starting to awaken and ascend as well as a result. We're all becoming one collective, which is fifth dimension. We're living in the fifth dimension now. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Again, comment or write me if this resonated, and if you have any experiences to share based on your own journey. Thanks so much, everybody.